Yes, it's that Friday feeling once again. Yes, we are blessed with another Friday. Yes, we are. And what we're doing today, we are carrying on. It's part 4 of the Harrier, the Tony Nijhuis Harrier. What could possibly go wrong today? I don't know, but let's get to it. Alrighty, so what we got on the bench. So last night, I decided to glue a section before today. I had a bit of time. The section basically is the bottom of the fuselage. If we get the fuselage here, it goes across here. I think we do this bit and it goes all the way across this bit, and then we're going to do some sides and everything else. Also, I'll show you a bit of a blunder, a bit of a boo-boo, and there's nothing I can do about it now, but I want to show you just so you don't make the same mistake. So as you can see, we are back here now on the side cam, which I've got to, wait a minute, stop that, don't start that, it's a Friday after all. Yes. Right, so in my bamboo sticks, my bamboo sticks always come into hand here. Fantastic bamboo sticks, cheap as chips. I put them down the edge so I didn't dent the balsa basically. But you can use anything you like, but I like to use my balsa sticks because I've got loads of them. And then I just use this just so it stayed together during the night and didn't decide to warp or anything else out. And that should be one nice sheet. And there you go. Whether the tape's going to come off, I don't know. It's kind of like, it's not a greasy tape, it's waxy, that's like, yeah, whether it comes off or not, I don't know. Would it need to come off? I don't know. Will it come off? There you go. So this is like a wax tape, there you go. And because it's a wax tape, it doesn't stick to the tape. What's it actually called? It's called Scotch. It's a Scotch tape, but it's kind of low tack. It's I don't know. Yes, one of them ones. So we can obviously just go across that with a fine stick sander, just to get any edge. Because the good thing about the aliphatic resin, it is friendly, sandy friendly. You can sand it, which is great. That's the good thing about that and white glue. I don't find white glue is a great sander, especially when you're using cyano glue. That's a bit of a nightmare to sand. You end up sanding everything else but the cyano glue. But this is great. So there you go. I mean, I'm not going to go too mad. It's still going to end up with a little bit of the gap there. But there we go. Now we've got our solid board ready for the drawing. We're going to draw on it, cut it out. Alright, so we're back on the overhead cam. Yes, overhead cam and the frontal cam. So if you can see here, there's this dotted line. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. And this is the shape that we need to cut out. You can either use tracing paper, so you can get all this. This is A4 tracing paper. You can get this from most art stores or their favourite shop. And the other way was to get blotted paper, which is, there's not so much of it about now. But you can get ink paper, so I would put this bit below this paper here, put the timber on top, and then draw with like a piece of plastic around, and then that would give the shape ready for cutting out the timber. But I thought I might try it this way, just for giggles. So then I've got both ways, because we have got another cutout to do later on in the build, so we can maybe try that way and then we'll see which way is best, I think. So all I'm going to do is to secure this down and just draw over the dotted lines on the tracing paper basically. Alright, so we are on the deck. I have put the timber down, put the tracing paper on here. Once again, what I could do is put some ink paper underneath there and then score it in bits and pieces. So there's that way to do it. But then again, maybe you get ink everywhere. I don't know. I did cut the timber, the balsa, should I say, to the right length. Anyway, I just left a minute section over which you can see, because this is going to be sanded and carved and everything else, so all we've got to do is cut out these sides. There we go, there's our shape. Hopefully it's going to fit. To say, I'll keep them bits of balsa for my spare balsa cuts and bits and pieces. Yeah, so I kind of found it hard to see around that edge. I need my specs, I need double specs. was probably where I got all the light out and everything else, so I had to put a bit of pencil mark there that wasn't the greatest. So I'm not sure why that's so curved, to be honest with you. That could have been straight. We'll go on to my boo-boo in a minute. So let's get this so it's up as far as it can go. Now we can go a bit further up. There we go. So this will sit like so. Now these are going to be curved anyway, these edges, so but that's spot on. This is all going to be curved and blade, use the blade in bits and pieces. So that's spot on there, and then we're going to curvature the fronts and make sure that's actually get a bit of stability for the front. And then we use some curved sheeting, which we're going to do at the moment. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'll probably put the tube on first so I can get these cables taped down. Now, welcome to the boo-boo zone. Yes, the boo-boo zone. Right, so what you say boo-boo zone, Chris? Okay, so we have got this, which is F9, I believe. It is F9. This F9 goes across here. This adds as another curvature for the balsa. Now, can you see? You probably can't. Let's just zoom in there. Can you see what's happened here? So if you look here, absolutely wonderful. And here I've got a bit of a gap. It goes off on a tangent. Yes. Not sure what happened there. I think I do know what's happened. Now I've measured excuse me, this distance and this distance across here. I've made sure it's all level and everything else, and it is. So the only thing I can think of is that if I just use this bit of balsa, if we go to the cat, no, I'm going to use this a bit. Right, so if you come to here, so the body's going like that, and then we've got a square piece of wood that comes out like that. Similar. Now, if you've got something that's going like that, and you've got a square bit of timber like that, it's on the angle of the dangle, isn't it? Not like that. That'd be wrong. Now, when it comes out lasered out, it's not lasered at an angle. And me, being silly, and forgot. And I remember this bit, I had to take it out the jig. Because I just, you know, not used to the jig, and excuses. I've got buckets of them down there. So what I did is I measured one side, glued it, and measured this side, glued it. So then I was spot on from the measurements off the drawings. Now, because I've measured it like that, on that, so instead of sanding it down, because it's meant to be like that, so then suddenly you sand it down so it's on the angle, sort of like, that's on the angle, like, if you get what I mean, right? So if I just put it straight there, but then if I sand it down that edge, it becomes an angled edge. So both edges would be angled, or that way should I say, whatever way, into the fuselage. So now what it's doing is that one end is slightly bent round like that, where it's going to the side. So one side's nice and straight, and then the other's gone like that. Oh, boogle binders. Okay, so I did take the liberty of gluing this across, as you can see up there. See the cam there. There you go. So that is all glued. It's not that bad of a gap. It is and it isn't. We'll soon find out. But it's in. It's done. Now the next step is to put that bit of timber that we carved. I've got sort of calling it timber balsa that we cut out. Trouble is that these cables here, as you can see, they do stick up a bit. So what I'd like to do first is put the tube on, the thrust tube, and I do like that word, thrust tube on the back, and then obviously I can take the cables down as well, and there's, you know, it will push down, but it's always nice just to, you know, whatever. So we've got our little piece of cut work we cut out last week, if you remember. Presumably the big end goes on the motor, excuse me, so we'll push that in the back like so, in the little hole, and let her open up and make sure that she goes around the motor like so-ish. There we go. I mean, I don't know how far that's going to go back. I would presume it's to be there, as long as it's tight around there, and then that can stay. We'll just put a bit of tape on there maybe, I don't know. Yeah, and then so that's you know, fills the back here out, so your back section here, so make sure that's filled out and that's tight at the end, and I reckon that's all right. I mean, that's all the way up to the FP1s. There's still quite a bit coming out here, so I don't know if that's left there. It's really hard to see on the images that you can look at to see how things are made. So I reckon I just put a bit of tape on that. I might put a bit of sellotape, which I haven't got in the hanger. So let me tape that. I'll just put a bit of tape down this edge just to keep it there, and then tape this down, and we'll be right back to then glue this on, I think. Okay, so now we're ready to rock and roll. The pipe is in. I taped it to the back. Now, if you look at the picture of the pipe in the description here that Tony does, if you look very, very, very closely, you can see it is cut. He also says in the instructions as well that it says begin shaping the bottom sheet and trim the thrust tube outlet to the side profile of the fuselage. So it does get trimmed. Now I'm going to put this back on the bottom on first before I trim that, so I can trim it to the actual contour. Okay, we're going to use some aliphatic, so I'm going to start putting this on. Now what I did do is I measured the centre of this. Now you can't see it. There we go, now you can see it. Can you see me? Hello! There you go. Measured the centre of this and the centre of the top sheet, so I know that I'm square, and it's all fantastically square, which I'm really surprised about. You say, Chris, you're so surprised? Well, yes, it is me building it after all. It's a bit like, you know, a Nathaniel trying to start fire. You know, yes, crazy times. I wish this would work, this aliphatic bottle lid, but it doesn't. So I'm just going to pour some stuff out. Way enough of that. Almost like you need a paintbrush, don't you? So I'm going to just whack all this on. As I say, I'm using this just for the fact of rubbing down afterwards, because I am going to be planing this. No pun intended. Okay, I'm going to be planing it to shape it. It won't be today, unfortunately. I think the video will be too long. We'll see how we go. But I'm going to, in fact, I'm going to stop it here. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to carry on gluing the sides, and then put this into position, and then clamp it all and start to let it to dry. And we're back. Yes, so we left this gluing. As you can see, it's a bit wild. Yes, my bamboo has made another appearance. Yes, the bamboo sticks, honestly, I don't know. Oh, they are here. Yeah. This is the pack you get for probably about a couple of quid. Loads of them. They're really good. They are called Kaliyaho sign making bamboo. So and it's just saving me using balsa. So I use all these bamboos to stop me compressing the soft balsa. Yes, I used a bit of tape as well just to hold it all down. I'm hoping yes, I did break the front once again. Oh yes. That's got more super glue than the whole plane. It's going to be nose heavy, I'm telling you. Now these sides here, I've got to use a bit of 2.5mm balsa, like so. And this is probably, I mean, I can't find it. If it's in there, I can't find it. But this is probably the only section that doesn't have like a little, what do you call it, template. So I'm going to try it. Stop laughing. I can hear you laughing already. I'm going to try, in fact, are you on the walk now? Are you in a bit wonky? Yeah, you had a bit of a drink. Oh, hello. Hello, missus. There we go. Is that a bit, is it better? Yeah. There. I hear you laughing. Stop that laughing at the back there. Yes, I'm going to try and do my own template out of a bit of tracing paper, no less. Okay, I thought I'd change the camera position just so you can see what I'm doing a bit more. So I've got a bit of tracing paper now. I've seen Mark Croucher do this, and also Cliff Harvey, I believe. And I thought, well, I'll give it a go. Now, he normally does it in cardboard, but what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put it, because this is slanted at the back, I need to keep this back marker. Then I'm just going to mark in the corner there, and without moving this, I'm just going to hopefully mark that corner there. You can see what I'm doing. Good. Then hopefully, saying hopefully quite a bit, because I'm hoping. So if I get that lined up, I don't know how accurate this is going to be, but I can always get cut at the tip of the balsa a bit bigger and then do a bit of sanding. So that's that cut off. Now I'm hoping that should be okay. Oh no, it is. Yeah, that's okay. That's good. So now that's that sorted out, I need to get then the bottom one sorted out. So hopefully that is going to sit in there, and maybe then press in here, press in there. Oh, so that's the bottom bit I'm going to cut there because it moved. I mean, you know, as I say, I mean, I could have probably, there must be a bit of cardboard in here somewhere, but you know, there is ways of doing this. It's a lot better with cardboard to find the shape before you cut the balsa. There we go. This is great, this self-healing cutting board, cutting mat. It's self-healing. Every time I cut, I'm expecting an ambulance to suddenly come out. Yes, it doesn't. So I don't know how it self-heals, but it does. So that, I reckon, that would fit in there. That would go to the bottom in there. I mean, there's other ways. See, this is where the professionals come in now. Now I could do what I'm thinking in my head is that I could do it so the side of the balsa is kind of like so where it comes around on the curve, it's at an angle, so it touches it rather than coming down and leaving a gap. So I mean, it's got to be sanded down anyway, but to like more round, and all this is all going to be totally different. But I reckon I'm going to give it. I've got a bit of balsa and bits and pieces, so let's just quickly cut this. I mean, if it's a bad cut, then it is what it is. So I will need to wet this in a minute. I wet one side, but I just want to make sure how much. If I'm going to, in fact, that's not bad actually. This has got to be curved, remember, so it's got to go around that curve. So I reckon if I sand that, I need to stand. It's almost like I need to stick a bit there and then wrap it round, so it's kind of, it is stuck on there, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's totally different size balsa anyway, so I don't know. And I don't want to go right down to the edge. Yeah. And also that's not exactly level there. Looks like we're going to be using a lot of balsa filler. I might even have to make a phone call. Oh, and I need to put it around the right way because that ends there. Oh no! I did it again, look, it's broke again. Look, can you, oh no, can you, look, can you see that? It's snappered again. Oh! Well, there you go, a bit of a disaster finish. Well, it's not. It's all glued, it's all good and happy dappy, so that's all good. That's about the 16th billionth time that I've actually, well, slightly over exaggerating, but yeah, it's been fixed a lot of times. Anyway, so I think I've got to try and get some cardboard. Could you believe it? I've got some cardboard of the A4, A3 sketching paper, but I don't really want to cut that up. So I think I'm just going to find some more cardboard or play about with the actual timber, this piece of timber anyway, this balsa, this little triangle piece of balsa, and try and get it right. I mean, here's a picture, here's a quick preview of what she's going to be sanded down like. So yeah, so maybe, you know, there's a bit of scope there to do stuff, but I'd prefer not to start using balsa filler at this time. But anyway, so that is it for today. We will start doing some bits and pieces next week. I'll have these ready to go on and to be glued. I will video that, and we'll start shaping down the back as well, which also has those, and we can start moving on with this build. Just one thing I did forget to say is that when you put that EDF in, just put some hot glue on the back of the pipe, on the back of the plastic pipe, which I will show anyway next week. But just in case you're doing it at the same time as me, then you can hot glue it just so that exhaust pipe doesn't fly off when the fan turns on. It shouldn't do, but that's what it says on the drawing anyway. That's behind me. There you go. There's the drawing. It says it on there. Just to put a couple of dabs of hot glue, just to hold it tight. But I'm happy. I mean, we've got the bottom on and it's going to be shaped and it's moving forward for me anyway. So I'm extremely happy. Anyway, if you can get out, which Sunday's looking good for flying. I've got to see if it stays that way, and then maybe we'll get out there and who knows what we might take down there. But anyway, if you can get out and have some RC fun, get out there. But be safe, keep safe, but most of all, have fun. Come on. You know that Friday feeling is just, and we love it. Oh yes. Listen, you have a great week ahead. Ta-da!